Welcome to Law and Life, the Leverett's Approach.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Law and Life, the Leverett's Approach, with attorney Yoni Leveretz. Yoni is the founder of Leverett's Law Firm and is recognized for his exceptional skill in family law, his compassionate manner, and his commitment to achieving favorable outcomes for his clients. I'm Sean O'Connor, and in today's episode, we're talking about high-profile divorce cases in New York and how public exposure, sensitive information, and complex assets can influence the strategy and direction of a case. Yoni, good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
Oh, you bet. Always a pleasure. I'm in a high-profile divorce. In your experience, what tends to create the greatest concern for clients who are navigating their case, often under public scrutiny?
The greatest concern is the public scrutiny. The greatest concern is the fact that people in the public will see them differently and that their dirty laundry is going to be aired in public.
Yeah, that's, I guess that would be, that could be an issue. When I'm thinking sensitive information is part of the record. So what measures exist in New York to limit how much becomes public or accessible? How much control do you or your clients have over that?
We have a lot of control because under the domestic relations law, DRL, files are sealed. Therefore, if you file a motion, then you're not going to be able to see what's inside it. However, if there's oral argument on the motion or argument before the court, reporters are allowed to sit inside the courtroom. The courtrooms are open to the public. Therefore, what's said on the record is open to everybody. What's said in the motion papers or inside the documents sent to the court, those are sealed. And then you, of course, have to worry about leaks from the clerk's office or leaks from other people's offices, because those can happen as well. Only the clerks and the court is prohibited from giving out the information. So if my best friend reads my motion and then posts it on YouTube, I could have a lot of issues. Now, judges can issue gag orders, okay? And judges can issue directives that don't allow people to go ahead and allow them to have the information out in public or in the hands of third parties. So there is a lot of different ways of dealing with these particular issues, but leaks do happen.
Yeah, I think I've seen this episode on Netflix.
Yes, I'm sure you have.
So public visibility often changes how the negotiations unfold, right? So what factors usually influence how parties decide whether to settle quietly or proceed through the courts?
Again, it comes down to dirty laundry. Okay. I mean, if I'll give you an example. High profile sports players having an affair with so-and-so. And they go ahead and they don't want that affair being aired out in public. Okay. It could affect their endorsements, right? So would they want that being aired in public? No, because they're going to lose the endorsements. Okay. They're going to lose their source of income for something that they did. So again, people don't want these things being aired in public, so therefore they try and do them quietly. Same thing with business people. You know, if there's a tax issue, if there's a liability issue, if there's an IRS issue, they don't want these things coming out in public.
Well, that makes sense. I mean, you mentioned the high-profile professional sports. I think we've seen that kind of stuff in the papers. You know, financial portfolios that include, say, businesses, public roles, or IP, intellectual property. What makes valuation especially complex in high-profile settings?
What makes it complex is the complex nature of the assets themselves, such as private equity holdings. You need people who are specialized, forensic accountants who are specialized in dealing with these particular areas. An attorney is basically a general contractor when it comes to a high-profile divorce. They're there to guide you. They're there to help you get the right experts. They're there to help guide the experts. They're there to help guide the court as to valuation.
And so if a case garners media attention, how does that affect communication between the parties, say, and their legal teams or the court?
Well, it depends how spiteful the communication is. I mean, for example, if a wife gets online and posts on YouTube, my husband, who's making $100 million a year, is scum and he did this, that, and the other thing, they're going to be punished heavily for it
By the court.
by the court
Got it.
because it's going to cause damage to reputation and economic harm.
Got it. So what steps can be taken early in the case to prevent unnecessary disclosure of personal or financial details that could impact reputation or business interests?
Solid confidentiality agreements. That is the ticket.
And
Detailed, solid confidentiality agreements.
and you mentioned earlier gag orders. Is that sort of beyond? Is that like if a violation occurred, then a gag order might be put in place, or is that a totally different scenario?
No, if you feel the other person is making threats and allegations and things of that sort, or they're going to be spiteful and malicious, I would move for a gag order immediately. Doesn't mean I would get it. Okay. But at least it puts the other person on notice that if you do this, I'm coming after you. Remember also the confidentiality agreements are signed by the courts in many cases, which makes them court orders and subject to contempt.
Oh, got it. Versus an NDA I might sign in business that might be different. I see. So, if one party uses social media during the divorce, what risks tend to come up around evidence, privacy, or misinterpretation of posts?
The biggest issue is the fact that someone's going out there and causing harm to the marital estate. If the information presented is benign, gee, I'm searching for advice, can someone help me? Again, the damage is nominal. If someone comes out and says, this is what my husband is doing to me in court, the damage could be irreparable.
Yeah, big difference. Big difference there. So, without sharing any, identifying details, obviously, is there a matter you've handled where public attention shaped how the case needed to be approached?
Absolutely. One of them was reported in the media where a person breached a confidentiality order. And it turned into a breach of contract action as opposed to a straight matrimonial action.
We've got obviously people in the audience listening, and they're in their own situations. For individuals concerned about image, privacy, or business impact, what considerations should they keep in mind as they prepare for a high-profile divorce? Can you offer some guidance there?
Yes, the attorneys should get in touch with the other party's attorneys as soon as possible and start hammering out the details of a confidentiality agreement. That will be signed by the court and be made a court order and will not allow for YouTube, Instagram, posts in other places, that certain things will be for eyes only for the attorneys and will not even be presented to the client.
If someone is considering a divorce, they know it's going to be high profile. Would you recommend, hypothetical client, would you recommend that they have a conversation with their spouse, sort of laying any groundwork, or is it something that's actually something you wouldn't recommend? You should first speak with an attorney.
You should first speak with an attorney, and if the attorney advises to speak with the spouse, then speak with the spouse. Let the attorney coach you. The attorney is the captain, the general contractor, the person in charge. Let them guide you as to what to say and what to do with the spouse.
That makes good sense to me. Well, listen, Yoni, as always, very interesting conversation. Thanks. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too. Thank you for having me.
For those of you listening, thanks for joining us on Law and Life, the Leverett's Approach. To contact Yoni or learn more, visit his website, leverettslaw.com. You'll find insights on navigating divorce and family law in New York. And as always, be sure to like or leave a review if you found this episode helpful, and subscribe to the show so you don't miss any future episodes. And feel free to share it with folks who you think might benefit. I'm Sean O'Connor. Have a great day.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.